Food insecurity affects millions of Americans, including many of our nation's seniors. Kaisa Janzen is the assistant director of the Helps nonprofit law firm, which helps low-income seniors and others who are struggling financially. In this video, the attorney will explain how food insecurity differs from hunger, how widespread it is among seniors, what states are the most food insecure, and most importantly, where seniors and others can find help so they get the nutrition that they need. Hey everyone, it's Jeff Hoyt, editor-in-chief of SeniorLiving.Org, and today I have the pleasure of speaking with Kaisa Janzen. Kaisa is the assistant director of the Helps nonprofit law firm that helps seniors, veterans, and other people in debt, helps them keep debt collectors at bay, among other things. So they do really good work. Welcome, Kaisa. Thanks for taking the time.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So today we're going to talk about something that hits very close to home. We're filming this right when the holiday season is starting in 2022. And while some of us will be stuffing ourselves at Thanksgiving, others are not so lucky. So we hear the phrase food insecurity. And is that just like a government term? What does that mean exactly?
Well, food insecurity, I'm not sure who really came up with the term, but it refers not just to being hungry or not having enough food. It refers to not having adequate nutrition for your daily needs on a consistent basis. That's what it really means. And for seniors or senior citizens, food insecurity is actually a really big issue. And it's important to understand that food insecurity doesn't always mean that you don't have food. It means you don't have access to adequate food for your needs.
Right. So we're looking at it from not just a my belly's empty hunger perspective, but that even if I'm eating food, it's not the food I need to get me through the day.
That's right. Yeah. About 1 in 15 senior citizens in the United States, roughly speaking, is food insecure. And that means they don't have access to nutrition sufficient to help their health, to help them go through their daily tasks on an adequate basis, and probably actually prevent a lot of disease.
So it feeds on itself, no pun intended. If you're not eating
does,
right,
yeah.
Then it can cause other problems with musculoskeletal and circulatory and other systems. And it just, things will keep getting worse unless treated. So are there parts of the country that are more food insecure than others?
Yeah, and unfortunately, the statistics show that there really is a drastic difference between food security levels or between states when it comes to food security. The states with the highest level of food security, California, Washington, Minnesota, Vermont, these are states that tend to have more aid programs, but I want to be clear, every state, wherever you are, there are programs available for you and food relief. If you're in one of the states with the lowest levels of food security, like Louisiana, Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, there are still resources available for you to get assistance with your nutritional needs.
Well, I appreciate you coming and taking the time to help people find these resources. So if you're in the states you mentioned, I mean, it's not just Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama, but if you're in a place where you're suffering from food insecurity, there are supposed to be government programs that can help. Yes, there are local churches and other, nonprofits, charities that may be of aid. But how does one go and find a food bank or food pantry or a place that can help them get the nutrition they need?
So the first resource that will work for most of us is calling 211 or 211. 211 or 211 is a great resource to find local resources, opportunities, services for you. And one of the biggest ones that they help people find are food banks, food pantries. So if your area has a 211 resource, definitely use that. But that's not the only number you can call. The USDA, they have their own hotline. It's called the National Hunger Hotline. And that's 1-866-3-HUNGRY. We are going to post all of these websites and numbers on our Helps website as well. I know I'm going to give out a lot of websites and phone numbers, so I don't want anyone to worry if they don't get it when I say it. These are going to be online. If you have access to the internet, another really great website is www.feedingamerica.org. And this website actually has a map tool where you can put in your zip code or your address, and it's going to show you what food resources are available in your local area.
Yeah, some seniors can get online pretty easily, and others would rather just dial a phone. So thank you for covering both. Um, Now, I'm sure there are areas of the country where food is grown, farm country, whatnot, but sometimes, like being in an urban area, food banks, food pantries, there's more availability for these
Yeah,
programs.
there really is. And the rural need for food is just as great, but it is true. If you're in the metropolitan area, you're a lot closer to resources. But some states like Montana have really done a good job at addressing the needs of rural communities and actually have food services that can be delivered or drop shipped to an area close to you. And again, we're going to have that information on our website.
And can you explain what you mean by drop shipped?
So drop ship means that perhaps it doesn't get delivered to your door, but maybe it gets delivered to your local post office. A lot of the rural areas of Montana, to use Montana as an example again, really don't have, they're not huge urban areas, but most places have local post offices. So those food resources will actually get dropped into big shipping containers and then get delivered to the local post office, and then people can pick up their package from the post office.
And a lot of these, food insecurity issues are based on economics, of course. So if seniors are on a fixed income and it's harder for them to um, get the groceries they need, um, are there places they can go to if they're already talking to the Social Security office? Would that be a good place to ask about food programs as well, other government agencies?
You can try, you can ask the Social Security office. Perhaps I would hope they would do their best to get you connected with some resources. I know that the federal government has a lot of resources through USDA, but also thanks to some legislation that was passed a long time ago, there's also the Older Americans Act that has its own nutrition program that subsidizes a lot of these food banks, food pantries, Meals on Wheels. And you can actually go to their website as well, and they can connect you with resources.
I'm glad you mentioned Meals on Wheels because that program's been around for years, and they're literally bringing prepared meals to seniors' doors as opposed to drop shipping, like you mentioned earlier. It's literally going to their doors. So that's something to look into as well.
Yeah,
Well, great. Well, we will put some of these phone numbers and websites in the description of this video, and they're also on the Helps website. If people want to find the Helps website, where do they go?
it's www.helpsishere.org, and that's helps. So that's HELP, S as in Sam, is here.org.
Great. Really appreciate you taking the time. Thank you so much, Kaisa.
Of course, no problem.